And welcome to the After Dark.
We teach Matt colors.
Yeah, a little bit.
The rainbow, Ruguka.
No, he knows colors. He just doesn't know what order the rainbow goes in, which is hilariously ironic to me.
You know,
Thank you.
the eye is indigo. I know that makes sense in the...
Oh, got it.
Because light spectrums and print spectrums and everything are different spectrums.
Well, we didn't get into as much of it as I thought we would, but there was a lot of really great roleplay that happened. So I'm pleased.
We're nothing if not consistent.
Okay, so
Look, I had like 20 minutes to set this up.
Yeah.
Which is honestly the fair time to do a roleplay episode.
Yeah.
Is like, I didn't have time to read the mechanics, so you all get social encounters. I'm not saying I did that this week or anything. What are you talking about?
Nah, never. Honestly, though, like I had the map ready, and I have all of the bad guys and stuff hanging out back here. But one of the things that when Thomas came in and told me that he wanted to play an Oath of Vengeance Paladin, specifically to deal with the Foxy Irregulars and the Irregular Phoenix, I was like, you're coming onto an island where, like, they're all about, like, letting go of your past, finding peace and healing. So I'm real curious to see how this is going to go. So I've actually been looking forward to that particular social encounter since the beginning.
Cool. I didn't know, because the way that I've been playing Undar, he wasn't ever a vengeance paladin.
Right.
So he wasn't. You couldn't talk him out of it because he wasn't actually one. But he's like, well, I was going to do this, but and then I did some things, and it was nice.
It's much easier to reinforce the path that you know someone is already going on than it is to try and put them on a new path. Putting someone on a new path is fucking hard.
Yeah.
But just being like, no, you're going the right way. Let me just encourage you is a lot easier.
Yeah.
When you originally designed the idea of the Vengeance Paladin GIF, was that just for this when we had something, or was that from a while ago?
Yeah, it was backstory first.
Sure.
And then I was like, what would... And then I was like, Vengeance Paladin. Yeah, because he's going after, he wants to know what happened.
Yeah, who blew up his crew? Who blew up his ship?
If we would have started at level 3, I probably would have been a Vengeance Paladin.
Oh, that's a good point.
But because we started at level 1 and I hadn't chosen the Oath yet, it was just like, here's the character. And I didn't know what, other than channeling Aaron and Mayhem, I didn't know what he was going to be until we sat down and started playing, and suddenly it was like, that's not going to work at all.
I find that to be the case with a lot of the characters that I play, where it's like I have an idea of where they've come from and I have an idea of some of the characteristics, but I don't really know who they are until I start playing them at the table they're going to be at. Mm-hmm.
I think that's true of a lot of people. That's why I like coming in with some semblance of backstory to inform how I make choices, but what those choices are going to be dependent on the people around, because the original version of Marlowe's a revamp from a different campaign that I played in where we never got very high levels. And that one she was a knowledge cleric who got press ganged into piracy, and she was very not she was a sea elf, she was a shipwright, but she did not want to do the pirate thing. And I was like, no, I'm gonna lean in that she was on a pirate ship, but she was not actually the piracy side. She was fixing things. And it was a lot more interesting seeing what this group came in with, to just be like, no, I've seen a lot of shit, but I'm not actively out bloodthirsty high seas pirate. I just I was poor, my life was crappy, I fell in with bad people, this is what my life has brought me to, and it just kind of is. And that's been kind of a fun revamp, especially taking her to a Twilight cleric instead. So, kind of fun.
Because Twilight is one of my favorite clerics.
Twilight is very broken. It's great. Kind of OP.
But it's less broken as you get further up in levels and other people catch up with you. I think at lower levels they're more OP.
It just starts really strong.
Right.
Compared to some. And it's also fun and interesting to see what we've all got. We knew we were coming into a campaign that was going to be centered on an island, because it's literally in the name. So I also think it's really fun that we didn't try to be like, all right, we're gonna bring in like a Tempest cleric and a Storm sorcerer and a Storm paladin. Like, we did not go like, all right, what are all of the like water-based? Everyone's playing a Sea Elf and a Triton,
Which would have been interesting, but
Yeah,
I'm glad that you did it this way.
it's just a fun varietal.
I like this one because it's like 4 characters that legit have nothing in common. Like nothing in common. It's like they're coming here for their purpose. They were kind of thrust into a situation where it's like, no, you guys kind of have to work together for this if you want to get all your goals. But I mean, I don't know. Like currently, I don't know what's going to keep them together. If that makes sense.
No, it does.
Or when something will. Because right now it's like, because you're looking for respite, she's looking for money, looking for, well, now I don't, because like you were looking for your oath.
Well, I'm looking to be an adventurer.
Now it's
And now you're going to go out and do good things for money.
Yeah. But it's, and then, so everyone's kind of here for their own thing. It's just interesting to see what's going to, if anything, will keep them here past this, which I think works for what was going to be a 4-shot, 2-shot, 3-shot.
Yeah, it was originally going to be a 4-shot. Like, legit, this was planned from the beginning to be a 4-shot. It'll probably be a bit more now, but also we've got a bit more time now because of the way that scheduling has worked out, so that's fine.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting, too, because I've had this conversation, like, there are other shows on this channel that have had this conversation, and there are other, like, home games that I've played that have had that conversation of, like, why is this group staying together other than if we don't stay together, we don't get to play D&D?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting that despite you're totally right, like, none of us really have anything in common or have any, like, that we're aware of at least, any specific converging goals. But at the same time, and maybe it's just because this is a good group of players, but like the chemistry of this group feels like we would find reasons at I think we can absolutely stumble into something where it's like, well, at this point, obviously we've got to just see this through or something, and I think that's really fun.
Like the easiest one for Madame Solari is maybe, hey, I hang around these people and I get a lot of things that are worth a lot of money. Maybe I just keep doing this until they get boring.
She also might have been spying on princess training. And she's kind of like, and like she's starting to warm. So I see this being kind of something that might be a little more, now that she's looking more her age. She's like, you can be seen with her
now that I feel validated.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, there's a moment here.
Marlo worships the night. She wants to go to space now. She didn't know that's a thing she wanted until she met this Hippo Man. Now she's like, that would actually be really cool. Like, go to space.
You've been looking at those stars forever, and I'm like, I come from those stars.
You come from the stars? Are they very cool?
No, they're actually quite hot.
Be careful. Don't touch them.
So, as a GM, I want to know, did you feel like the extra stuff that you're getting from the downtime is worthwhile?
I think it's incredibly valuable. Like, I mean, I have a sense that it's not going to be like edge of our seat, because we have healing potions.
Yeah.
Sure.
That is not something a lot of first level or second level characters have.
It's true.
And I also think that we'll hoard the better stuff until it's not worth as much for us. But I don't know. I thought it was cool.
I mean, it was a shortened period of time to get things like feats and whatnot, and it's something that I'm balancing in my head. Like, at what point is it too OP?
I appreciate that. For me, I appreciate that it felt catered, but not like in a very like this is what you were going. I know I'm coming in. No, exactly.
I did not come in knowing what you were doing. I was like, what?
I saw you were like, what is she doing?
What
I don't
can
understand.
I give them that makes sense?
Yeah.
But the thing, like, because some like. For mine, for Madame Celery, pure vanity, and I love that. Like, it doesn't. It's like you give that to someone else, and they're like, okay, like, I'm 9 years younger, cool. But like other ones were like something tangible. It's like, no, you're gaining a skill set. You're gaining this. You're gaining, and then for. Sorry, I keep smacking the camera, but
you're actually doing a good job of reaching under the line.
Undar.
Kind of cool.
Undar, he was validated. So it's like it's very cool that the things that you threw in here for the role play was not. It didn't feel like it was like now you're super powered.
All right, make sure you play the scene the way we
Exactly.
talked about. So you could get the stuff. It was play the scene. And then based on that scene, I will find something that makes sense with what I think you're seeking. And I love that it wasn't necessarily exactly what we came in trying to think of, but it felt right and it felt organic to the moment.
I love how you could have just said, there's a lot of undead on this island. If we could slow our heartbeats, maybe we could blend in.
No, she wanted to be because she doesn't want to give I don't want to know you. I don't want you to know. Take my great idea. But instead, exactly. So something that could have been used in a very, very good way for this is now pure vanity,
And it's just
it works so well. I thought it was so funny.
It's so her.
Slow the heart rate down so it stops.
Everyone.
Yeah, it's like,
what?
yeah, exactly. What are you trying to do, girl?
Ma'am?
I don't know. Yeah, ma'am.
Ma'am?
This is a Wendy's?
And if you'll let me do a little plug, because I don't want to take away from Tiana.
100%. I stole this, and it was because Alondra told me about this.
So I don't
Go
want to
ahead.
take this. I don't want to take this away from Tiana because the way Tiana utilized this mechanic was brilliant. But a lot of where this came from is that Tiana and I have talked extensively about how my friend Mark, the Lord Bonk, used this mechanic in a game we were playing called 11 Fates, and I'm specifically plugging it because you can go listen to the podcast of the first season and hear how he utilized this mechanic. But his whole pitch was he never wanted us through that whole campaign to ever go above level 6. But the idea was that we could earn feats and up our skills in other ways through our encounters and through our socials.
Yeah.
So like I, once again, shockingly was playing a character who was not super high cha. And one of the downtime things is that I didn't have anything else to do, and since my character used to work in a tavern, she just sort of started like working at the tavern, just kind of we were basically killing like 3 days worth of time waiting for something to happen because we could not do anything else until it happened. So I just started working at the tavern again because I'd done that as a teenager, and so I got the resilient charisma feat out of that, which raised my cha by 1. And it's that sort of thing where it's like, okay, like that wasn't necessarily what I would have chosen to do, but it made good storytelling sense, and it was a way to reward this kind of downtime effect.
Yeah, and I, when Alondra was telling me about this, I was like, that's brilliant, because it feeds into something that I guess frustrates me a little bit about D&D 5th edition that I've heard is very strong in like 3.5, that you can customize a lot more based on what you as the character do.
Yeah.
And I love that, and I love that, and I'm kind of sad that there isn't a mechanic for that right now in modern D&D, so I like bringing...
We'll make our own!
Yeah.
You know what? If they won't give you personalized upgrading, we can buy our own. It's fine.
Yeah, I think so in 3rd edition, there were a lot of feats.
Yeah.
And then the splat books came out, and there were just added feat. But it also wasn't like Pathfinder 2, which is, you start and you've got like 100 feats.
Oh.
And
there's
there
a
are
class
feats
for
that
everything and a race for everything.
There's a feat you
It's a
take
lot.
to
Like,
give you a
it's so
different
crunchy.
feat.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's
so
ridiculous.
crunchy.
Yeah. It's so bad. But I think somewhere in the middle is good. So maybe, prestige, I think
Prestige classes.
Pixel Rose mentioned prestige classes in the stream last night. And that is, that was something that you worked towards. Like if you're now you just unlock a bunch of stuff, and it's the same stuff for the class. In that one, it was, you would take all the prerequisites, but you had options of prestige classes to take. So something in the middle.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying playing with it, and I'm really glad that you told me about that. And big shout out to the Lord Bonk for creating this idea that Alondra stole and then I stole from her, because I think it's incredibly useful. It's something that I'm also trying out in home games, but this is the first time that I get to try it on a group of players. So please let me know if like something feels overpowered or indeed underpowered. I felt kind of bad because you didn't get anything from that one besides, no, you shouldn't go Oath of Vengeance, which you were kind of already in there.
Yeah, I have a feeling that, I don't know, maybe there are some firearms and a keg of black powder on this ship. And,
Might be.
Possibly. It is a newer shipwreck. Well, we'll see.
Because then I could get, guns.
The other thing that's
I mean, you
about-
have proficiency in them.
Yes.
The other thing that's nice about this too is that it speaks to one of my other like horns that I toot constantly, which is I love the idea of asymmetric leveling. Everyone stays about the same, but people don't necessarily have to all get something every time or progress at the exact same rate. It should be similar, it should be comparable, but like, you know, I got a one-time use item that will probably be very useful at some point. Whereas Christy got like a feat that is going to continue to be incredibly useful. That's okay. I've also got a lot of stuff right now as a level 2 character.
Yeah.
And Christy doesn't unlock a lot of her useful stuff for another level. So I think in that way too, it kind of helps level us out. I think there will be chances for Undar to find bigger, cooler things that will help him.
Absolutely.
We'll find another potion of longevity.
And you know, whoever dies first, the very first thing that happens if one of us actually dies is that their body's going to be fucking looted by the rest of the party for all those valuable potions.
I mean, obviously, like, that's how it works.
Piracy! But no, this was really good, and thank you for whipping this together on such short notice. Because we knew it was coming back, but we thought we were gonna have
we thought we had like a month and a half before that came back, but I mean, it being on a ship, and we have 2 ship models here at the studio that I was able to cannibalize and use. I'm very excited for y'all to see what all happens here. There's some fun stuff in here, but you know, that'll have to wait until next time. So thank you again, Patreon friends. We appreciate you and everything that you help us do around here. Let us know in the comments what sorts of things you would want to look for with like extra proficiencies, extra feats, things like that. Things that are more flavor based for you and your character. Tell us about your character. And what sorts of things you like for that sort of thing? Because I'm, you know, spending a lot of time talking to people who are all about the flavor. So it's like, yeah.
Let's follow me on TikTok if all you want is flavor, because it's the only thing I do.
She is Milady Bedivere on TikTok. You should. All of her multi-classes are for flavor, not necessarily mechanics.
Yes.
They're great.
They're something. They're there. They're there on the internet.
Thank you all so much, and we will see you whenever we next see you. We're not entirely sure yet. We'll figure that out as we go. Thank you so much.